It's a privilege and an honor to present to you our first speaker, the great Deacon Jacob Hawkins.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated. May the peace of Yahweh be with each and every one of you. What a blessing it is to come to the house of Yahweh and learn from the greatest teacher in the world. These teachings that are vital to our salvation. You might remember that, and all the prophetic words and newsletters that said that in there. This is vital to our salvation, and that's what I want to speak about today. These teachings that are vital to our salvation. In Yochanan, chapter 6, he speaks about these laws, and very well-known scripture. It says, "It is the Spirit that gives life." Remember what that Spirit is. And it's explained in this scripture here. In Yochanan chapter 6, verse 63. It says, "It is the Spirit that gives life. The flesh is useless. The laws that I speak to you, they are spirit." Remember, it just said the Spirit is life. The laws that I speak, they are spirit and they are life everlasting. I want you to remember these things as we go along, because all the scriptures tie into this scripture right here. This is the main scripture. This is my main point that I want to get across. It is life. It is vital to our salvation. Without these teachings, we cannot make it into the kingdom of Yahweh. So we have to gather all this information. Turn over to Matthew, and you'll find what Yeshua said to Satan when she was trying to test him. In Matthew chapter 4, verse 4, it says, "But he answered and said, 'It is written, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh. And as it says in Deuteronomy, does man live.'" These are the things, by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh. These are the teachings that are brought out at the house of Yahweh. That we must, praise Yahweh, that we must have in our life. We have to gather all this knowledge. If you turn over to Proverbs chapter 4. I know the future priest yesterday went to this scripture. Proverbs chapter 4. In verse 1 and 2. It says, "Hear, O children." Remember, we're all children. We're all here learning, and we should be gathering this knowledge. And remember, it is a law. It is required of us to read, study, and meditate on the book of the law. Remember what that study means. The word study means. It means to apply the mind to acquire knowledge. That's what it means. You can find it in Webster's. It means to apply the mind to acquire knowledge, which is not only reading, but paying attention to the classes. Not talking to the person next to you, but focusing and learning all that you can. Because these are the things that we're going to be needing all throughout eternity. Not playing with push-button telephones either, but gathering all this knowledge from the pastor when he speaks up here, through the priest, anyone that is set to teach. That is set by Yahweh here at the house of Yahweh. You know, lots of fall-aways sat out in the parking lot before trying to teach. But they were not ordained to do so. Here in Proverbs, chapter 4, "Hear, O children, the instruction of Yahweh. Pay attention, so you may grow in understanding. For I give you sound doctrine, so do not forsake my law." Do not forsake the Torah, the teaching, the instruction. Don't forsake these things. Verse 4, "He also taught me and said to me, let your mind retain, grasp, hold on to my words. Keep my law, instructions, and live." Keep these things and live. Gather all this and live. "Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget, nor turn away from the words of my mouth." What are the words of the mouth? The law of Yahweh. The laws I speak, they are spirit and they are life everlasting. In verse 13, "Take a firm hold on instruction. Do not let it go." Don't let these things go. Don't let it slip out of your mind. Stand firm. Stand strong. No matter how much persecution comes against the house of Yahweh. Do not let it go. Guard it well. Don't let anyone deceive you. For it is your life. That goes back to Yochanan chapter 6, verse 63. It is life and life everlasting. These are the things, these are the laws, the teachings that we must acquire that is required for us to make it into Yahweh's kingdom. Now let's turn over to Yachanan. First Yachanan chapter 2. We'll see a warning here. It says, do not love the world nor the things that are in the world. What is it? The worldly entertainment, the worldly music. We can't have these things in our lives. We have to get it out. Do not love the, praise Yahweh, yes. I want to read you something a moment about that. But it says, do not love the world nor the things that are in the world. If anyone loves the world, if anyone has these things in their life, the love of the Father is not in him. It can't be there. It's the carnal mind, and it's an enemy of Yahweh. We have to get it out so we can be the friends of Yahweh, so we can be the children of Yahweh. Now, I want to read something out of the 6th book of Israel, the Believing Without Sin. And it's chapter 15. Chapter 15, it's verse 83 through 84. And here is pastor is reading out of Psalms, chapter 91. It says, because you have set your love upon me. Do you hear that, young people? Well, we're all children, right? He was speaking to everyone here. It says, do you hear that, young people? You have to love the word of Yahweh enough to get rid of everything that keeps you from being like Yahweh, which means getting rid of the worldly attitudes and damnable worldly music that fills and rots your minds and condemns you to death. It means getting rid of the television programs that pushes illegal sex into the minds so that it takes over your whole body, and stupidity is all you can think of. Get rid of these things and notice the promise of Yahweh. Verse 14, and this was in Proverbs chapter 91. Yahweh says, because you have set your love upon me, I will deliver you, cause you to escape, I will set you on high. That is, he will set you above everything his fingers have made. Now, if you turn over to Deuteronomy, and my main point is get all these teachings, gather all of everything that comes out of the house of Yahweh. Read and study all you can. Get rid of everything that is not of Yahweh and gather everything of Yahweh. In Deuteronomy chapter 18, in verse 15, it says, Yahweh your Father will raise up for you a prophet like me from the midst of your own brothers. Him you must listen to. Him you must pay attention to. Now the priests, they're going to be also speaking the words that comes from this man. Him, the priests, you must listen to. Verse 18. I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their brothers. I will put my words in his mouth, and I will tell. Now remember what the words are. They're the spirit and they are life everlasting. The things that we must have to get into Yahweh's kingdom. And he will tell them everything I command him. Whoever will not listen, whoever will does not pay attention, whoever does not listen to my words, which he speaks in my name, I will judge him for it. Was it possibly judged unfit because they didn't gather the teachings that are required for us to make it into the kingdom? You know, it is very dangerous. We have to make sure that we pay attention, that we're not allowing anyone to distract us, to steal the knowledge that Yahweh is giving to us, that we must have. The time is now. The time is now to get rid of the world and get everything that Yahweh has given to us through the one that he has sent. Let's gather all this knowledge, gather all the teachings, and do not forget it. Do not let it go. Guard it well, for this is your life. May Yahweh bless you in your understanding.